All right, guys, welcome back and welcome to the first official gameplay trailer of what is one of my most highly anticipated games of this year. Welcome to Mafia, the Old Country. It's no secret that I love these games. These are amongst one of my favorite all-time video games to play. I love the stories that they've created. I love the characters that they've made. And so I actually have the brand new gameplay trailer about 4 days early. So I'm kind of geeking out right now, okay? So a massive thank you again to the team over at Hangar 13 and 2K for sending this my way so I can get this video ready. The trailer is now probably officially live, but in this video, we're gonna react to it. And then they've also given us a dev insight video, which goes a little bit more in depth as to what the story and characters are all about. So we're probably gonna be watching both. I'll have timestamps down below for your convenience. And just sit back, relax, and welcome to the family.
Come in.
Bravery is not common in this world, and so loyalty, honor, obedience, they set the man apart from the rest. You took care of Messina, but this matter is not yet resolved. Will you help me bring it to a close?
Of course. Tanto risi.
Oh, it looks so good. Man, this game looks spectacular. But I mean, let's be honest, right? Like the last game was just as great. So I don't expect anything less at this point. Oh my God, bro. Dude, look at the aesthetics. Look at the rooms, the lighting. Oh! Point blank to the chest. Seems like there's gonna be a lot of horseback riding. I kind of like that. It's giving me some Red Dead Redemption vibes.
You again.
Close quarter combat. I like it. Bro, like I cannot wait to get my hands on this game. I like that we're playing as a young buck, you know? He seems to be pretty young. I really like that. I don't know if we're gonna grow old with him. You know, if the story's gonna take place throughout, you know, X amount of years or whatnot. But I really like that. I really like that character so far. I think a lot of us will be able to relate to him. Not that we're all criminals or what have you, but you know, I feel like it was a little bit more of a tease. It was gameplay, of course, but I guess it's just, I'm just so excited for this game that when the gameplay showcase is just 1 minute and 30 seconds, I just want more.
Hey everyone, I'm Nick Baines, president of Hangar 13. We hope you enjoyed this new look at gameplay in Mafia the Old Country. We're just 3 short months away now from getting this game in your hands, and we can't wait. Mafia the Old Country is an origin story for the Mafia universe, and as such, it's both a step forward and a return to the fundamentals of the franchise. The heart of Mafia has always been deep, immersive storytelling, and Mafia the Old Country is no exception. It's a premium experience in the vein of early Mafia games, with a linear narrative set against the stunning, authentic backdrop of 1900 Sicily. That focus has allowed us to deliver a classic organised crime drama in the period authentic Mafia rules and traditions of the era. And as you just saw, we've made some exciting gameplay updates. Whether you're using a knife or a gun, using stealth or in a shootout, this is brutal and grounded in all the best ways. It's all going to pull you in from every angle, pushing the franchise forward in a location and time painstakingly created with the utmost authenticity and detail using Unreal Engine 5. Stick around, because next up is our development team, who have loads of awesome behind-the-scenes insights on how we brought this title to life. And stay tuned between now and August, as we'll have even more to tell and show. Thanks for joining us on this journey.
By the way, massive thank you to Hangar 13 for giving me a no copyright, no music video.
Our top goal for every Mafia game is to deliver the promise to a player that you're going to play a classic mob movie. Mafia the Old Country is a linear crime drama set against a beautiful Sicilian backdrop. The first step for us was to make sure that we were nailing all of the things that players expect from a Mafia game. The quality of its storytelling, how immersive it is, how authentic it is. Previous Mafia games have been set in big American cities. We've taken the action and we've put our story in rural Sicily, in the place where the Mafia began.
You really feel like you're transported into another time. It feels really unique and different, but yet really familiar. Players are really going to enjoy that aspect of it.
Our entry point for making these crime dramas is always the protagonist. We wanted to make sure that our main character, Enzo Favara, lives up to the standard which we've set in the past, and I hope in some ways even exceeds that.
All of the men in this room are bound by blood.
Bro, that voice is
Enzo
crazy.
grows up in a sulfur mine. He's one of a bunch of children that are sold to the mine owners at this point in history in Sicily. Their life expectancy is short and they're essentially seen as disposable.
Enzo turns to crime as a means to make something of himself. The odds are stacked against him. So what does he do? He sees an opportunity for himself to gain some status, to gain some respect.
Do you wish to commit to this family?
I do.
Swearing the oath is
Hell
the chance
yeah,
for him
I
to
do.
finally be accepted. He's found a family. It's the thing he's been searching for his entire life, but it comes at a cost.
I think players are in for an emotional roller coaster. The high stakes of the Mafia life present opportunities for us as storytellers to take players and put players through the ringer, really, in terms of what happens to the character, what happens to them in the game.
You again.
Oh my goodness.
What makes a really compelling gameplay experience is the mix of the high-intensity combat, cover play, cover shooting, set by these beautiful cinematics that make what you do in the combat so much more meaningful because you're fighting for something you really believe in.
Authenticity and immersion are key. And so we wanted to take that philosophy from the storytelling and make sure that it was consistent in the gameplay.
You know, whether you come for that core
that's
cover
so
combat
sick.
shooting experience or that white knuckle driving experience, we have that in Mafia: The Old Country, but it's unique.
There's some downbeats, there's some deep storytelling moments, and then there's some like high intensity action. And I think that's what makes Mafia missions and the general experience so interesting, is that we're constantly trying to change that roller coaster experience that you're on.
Enzo's proving himself with guns, and we wanted the combat to feel like there was a scarcity of resources, so you have to be more tactical in the way that you approach combat. The knife
make
has
sense.
been an integral part of gameplay. It's a part of Sicilian culture.
We wanted our gameplay to be immersive, to have a life or death kind of vibe. So when players are in a knife duel, when they're in a gunfight, they're genuinely fearing for their lives.
My flesh must burn like this saint if I do not keep my oath.
Man, even the voice acting is legit.
Bringing 1900
dude.
Sicily to life for us, it infuses every aspect of the development. It's about the characters, it's about the music, it's about the story, it's about the setting, it's about the vistas, it's about the vehicles, it's everything. It always starts with research, it always starts with immersing ourselves in the subject matter. So whether that's reading every crime book around the Sicilian Mafia, watching all of the movies, even driving the cars, firing the weapons, and then translating that into the game, that's the development experience.
We even sent some folks out to Sicily. We were then able to take all of
Really?
those experiences and try to translate it into an on-screen experience, but also a story. And those two things are woven together in a way that I think players are going to really enjoy.
Bravery is not common in this world, and so
The Mafia that we see in Mafia: The Old Country is much different than the Mafia that we see in some of the other Mafia games. It's a time-honored tradition steeped in secrecy. And there's this sort of deep honor that we see within the Teresi family and within the characters there.
The characters' relationships with each other, the way they behave, is very much influenced by that setting and that cultural difference.
Wow.
This is a distinctive experience that I've never played before, and I'm sure that players are going to feel the same.
Dude, this is gonna be
Mafia: The
so
Old Country
fucking
is
good.
our first Unreal 5 game in the studio, and it's particularly suited to the Sicilian setting.
We've really been able to push the boat out in terms of sort of the real tiny details on everything.
You know, one of the big ones for me is metahuman. You have characters that have really lifelike expressions, micro details. You know, many times when I'm watching the game, especially on a big screen in 4K, I start to forget that they're characters rendered in an engine. They just look like real characters in a movie. I think that's the level of immersion that we want, and it allows people, I think, to really
Absolutely.
suspend their disbelief and go along for the ride.
Enzo is beautifully rendered in the game, and I think he's one of the most compelling game characters we've seen for a long time.
The thing I'm most excited about from Mafia the Old Country is finally getting the game in players' hands.
The story pulls you through really quickly, and at the end, it takes your breath away, and it's the one that you're not going to want to spoil for your friends.
The visuals and the storytelling are absolutely next level.
Our setting's completely distinctive. Our story's completely unique. This is a game that you haven't played before. The best crime stories have unforgettable twists, and this game's no exception. Players are in for a treat.
Welcome, Enzo.
I love when a team, I mean, to me, there's nothing like a single player game. That's just a fact. There's nothing like an immersive story, single player experience, in my opinion. It is the most fun form of entertainment to me. And I love when these teams really get themselves involved, like they were showing how they go to, certain locations in Sicily to understand the culture and, make the game feel as authentic, to bring us for the ride as best as they possibly could. I really appreciate when a team does that. And I didn't know this game was actually going to be on Unreal Engine 5. I know Unreal Engine has its little issues here and there, so hopefully that's well, polished. But yeah, as far as visuals and just the look, I cannot wait to just be roaming around Sicily, doing gangster shit. I don't know. This is going to be awesome, bro. I cannot wait. So let me know what you guys think. Mafia the Old Country is almost here, and it is going to be a good time. Expect a full game walkthrough here. Maybe we should run back the other Mafia games. I've been debating that for quite some time. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. And again, thank you to Hangar 13. Catch you later.